To keep this video from being too long, I split it into 3 separate videos. This is part 1, and I will post part 2 next week. Because of the amount of dialogue, these types of videos take time to translate into other languages. Thank you for your patience. However, before we get into the video, I want to say a few things. Back in the 1970s, when I was a teenager, I told some of the women in my family that I did not want to date or marry a single mother. Needless to say, this made them upset. They then said things like, "You should not hold it against them for the mistakes they made," and a lot of other stuff. I replied by saying that I am not holding their mistakes against them. I do not want to pay for their mistakes. This is not how I want to spend my money. The point is that over 40 years ago, as a teenager, I said I did not want to marry a single mother. Men are saying the same thing today, which means that this is the nature of men. This is how men are built all over the world. This is the way it has always been. Back in the 1950s and the 1960s, my uncles had relationships with single mothers. My grandmother was a single mother because her husband was a complete asshole. My other grandmother was also a single mother because her husband died when they were young. Thus, I understood that being a single mother does not always mean it was a mistake. I understood that sometimes it could mean that this is what life has given you, and that life has put you in a situation where you had no control. However, this still does not mean that this is how I want to spend my money. Later in life, in the 1990s, when I was in my 30s, women changed their game. Women did not tell you they had a child until you were in a relationship. Thus, most of the single mothers I got into a relationship with, I did not know they had a child until after we started a relationship, and none of those relationships lasted more than 1 month. Since this did not work, women have changed their game again. Now they are using shaming tactics, or attempting to make you believe that you should be grateful to be with them. This video shows that many single mothers do not consider the situation from the man's point of view. The next video shows that many single mothers think they are the prize. They believe they are more valuable than a man without children, or more valuable than men in general. They believe having children with another man does not make them less desirable to men in general. The last part, or the last video in the series, shows what men fail to consider when they start a relationship with a single mother.
Yeah, so I have 1 child. I started my family very young.
Okay.
Single mother, but I was in a long-term relationship.
Okay.
I do want to settle down with a man,
Okay.
but I kind of have similar questions as to the other women that ask, like, how do you find a man?
Well,
And
you want to settle down or you want to be married?
I want to be married. I don't want to have pointless relationships.
Do you want any more children?
Eventually, yes.
Do you want to have to work after you're pregnant and married?
Do I want to have to work?
Mm-hmm.
I am. That should be a simple yes or no.
It should be. It's a yes or no. Do you want to have to work? Yes or no? Do you want to get your pregnant self out of bed and go to work 5 days a week?
I would want my husband to be able to financially provide for his family if needed. However, I would still like to provide for my family.
That's not the way this works. It's not the way this works. That's the problem. You ladies speak out of both sides of your mouth when the reality is, I don't want to have to be financially responsible. I want to contribute, but if I choose to not want to, or if I'm not able to, I don't want us to miss a beat. That's the effing truth. And you get to the outcome you want by saying the truth. You don't sit there by playing these games. See, I ask questions that you ladies never that you don't think about, but I know you're thinking about them. You just don't want to say, I don't want to have to get up and go to work when I'm pregnant. I want to have the ability to not have to work and be all right. I want to be able to have those options. If I decide I want to work from home or do nothing, I don't want us to miss a beat. I don't want me not working to cause us any real stress. All right, then how much is a man going to need to make to pay for a family of 4 in Boston? College funds, weddings for daughters, yep, all that. How much is that going to cost? Plus trips, plus family vacations, Christmas, retirement. How much all that going to cost?
For each child is like...
No, how much is he going to need to make annually?
And annually?
Mm-hmm. How much is he going to need to cover a family of 4?
I don't know. I don't know how much that would... Which
Well, if you don't know what it is, how you gonna find it?
okay.
How much do you think? You want to live in an apartment or you want to live in a house?
I want to live in a home.
You want to live? Do you want to have a car?
Yes, I have.
No. Do you want to share a car or you want your own vehicle?
I want my own
He
vehicle.
has his own vehicle. Do the kids get cars?
The kids must get cars at some point.
Uh-huh. Right. What kind of car do you want to drive? You want to drive a Hugo? You want to drive a Pontiac? What do you want to drive? Or you want to drive something nice?
This may sound basic. I don't really care much
Well,
about
it
vehicles.
don't matter how basic it sounds, it still has to be bought. How much is the man going to need to be able to buy all this annually?
For a family of four.
Uh-huh.
Like you making like 350
Thank you.
for
This is the thing, guys, ladies as well. You can't find what you don't define. And the problem is, you ladies are all looking for men who are making this income that's that high. And what percentage of men in this country earn $300,000 or more? Out of 100%, what percentage?
in this country less than
Right.
2%.
So you and every other woman is looking for the same the one guy out of 100. This is why you can't find him. Because that one guy, you're all looking for him. Then what does he want from a woman? Hold on. What does the kind of man who's making that kind of money want from a woman? And what?
Hmm.
So these are the reason I ask questions this way is because it takes you ladies out of your me focused, and you got to put yourself over there. What are the likelihood you're going to be able to attract a man making that kind of money and get him to marry you and put you in that lifestyle? And if you can't get that, is there no middle ground?
Well, I think for some women, if they're just strictly set on this is like, I mean, it's of course important to know what you want, but it's also important to understand that if you want to attract a man that in that sense, you need to build
You'd be
yourself
good.
up.
You would be good making. You'd be good meeting a guy making about $60,000 a year.
Okay.
The average black man makes 42,500. The average white guy makes 50. You be good making somebody who's above average. And and see that did not used to be an insult to women, but today it's like if I can't have this house and this car and this lifestyle, because then I'm gonna start asking the hard questions. What do you have to bring to the table that a man wants that
Hmm.
you haven't given to another man? And this is where it gets rough because you've already had a child, you've already
Hmm.
had sex, everything you got to offer a man.
Was
Already,
already good. I mean, that's the truth.
and then you're not looking for a man, you're looking for a stepfather. So
Which it kind of elevates the bar. It's
it means it lowers your value. It means you have to understand that the men are more valuable. So, and the thing is, when I ask these financial questions, what it shows is you ladies are putting little to no thought into even the foundation of a man. You damn sure ain't putting any thought into what you gonna do for him. It's
hmm
all about what I want, as what women want, and I'm not thinking about what the men want. Bottom line is, we look at your children as liabilities. They're not assets to us. Liabilities. Liability. Don't care how much you love them, they cost us the same. Liabilities. We don't like them. Every dollar I make, I got to split 50 cents with that man's kid. Why do I, as an alpha male, high value man, whatever, want to be putting my hard earned resources into that mother sucker's kid and
okay.
taking from my child? Why do I want to have to? So if I were to say Kevin Jr. gets a car, he gets a BMW. Your kid, he get a bike. You can't do that. You got to treat him the same. Shit, his daddy need to do something for him. That ain't fair, is it? See how that work? But yet when that little joker does something, the police gonna be calling my house. I got to put a roof over his head and feed. See, what you have to do is you have to make this situation appealing enough to I'd say, all right, I'll take on your little liability. You're gonna have to make it such a good deal to where I skip over all the women who are childless and liabilityless to get in with this liability that's never going to pay off for me. His last name is his daddy's last name. Her last name is her daddy's last name. You got to think about it from the man's standpoint. And that's how men are looking at this. They can't risk saying it, but that's what they really think. Immediately dating you, he does not get benefit of having you without a kid. There is no honeymoon period. Your kid is in the wedding somehow. There's no just coming home and getting busy on the coffee table or the kitchen table because that kid is there. I never get to have the childless version of you. We don't get a chance to just say, you know what? Let's just get on a plane and go to Paris for the weekend. There's always something. There's always we got to make provision. I don't get the benefit of the freedom of a woman. I always got this, and you're gonna have to pay for that. Every time we sit down, we need a table for 3. I got a 2-seater car. Where your kid gonna sit on the spoiler? Strap her ass on the hood. That's the point. So yeah, I gotta think about it that way. It's not and when more women start to think about how can I make myself an asset, a feminine asset to a man, and I have to make my child more than not just a liability. I have to make this an asset situation. And women who think like that are going to be more appealing to marriage-minded men. Because what men want more than anything else is to know that you ladies have thought about us and what we're versus the average woman is saying, do for me. That's how you'll separate yourself.
Thank you for watching. Please click the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, and share this video.